Right, okay, so welcome to the Content Cloud. We are going to spend half an hour, 20 minutes presentation, and hopefully we have a bit of time for Q&As. Today we have some boxers from Box on the back also of the room with Tony and Bal, so should you have any question, maybe also at lunch, if you want to keep on discussing, I'll be delighted. I've got two goals today. Number one is to introduce the Content Cloud and tell you what is it, what kind of problem is it answering? And the second one, actually, you've been sitting on this card, maybe now on your table, is to invite you in a month's period of time, really 4 weeks from now in London, to discover even further, actually, the Content Cloud, hear about some customer stories, networking, and meet our executives that will also tell you more about the mission that we're having at Box. So at the end of the day, actually, Content Cloud is a new market category. You may have seen that in the press. Most of the analysts are talking about Content Cloud. It's like, well, it's a category like ERP, like CRM, like HRM. It's a true market category, but eventually what Content Cloud does, of course, it helps you to transform your workplace and your industry. So, of course, if there is one thing that we have learned during the past 2 years is that whichever company you are, whichever industry you are working for, whichever location actually you're based in the world, it's absolutely critical. It's more critical than ever to enable your team to work together securely. I would not insist enough actually on the security, and we're going to talk about that, and of course effectively. So this is really what we're focusing on as a mission. The world has totally changed, and you've seen all the sessions this morning. I'm not going to repeat everything about the transformation, the digital transformation. However, this is the foundation of everything we're doing, and has never changed so quickly. I think this picture is self-explanatory. It reminds me actually when I was 5 years ago on the 101 in California, I was spending literally 3 hours in a car going from San Francisco to Mountain View. And it was absolutely just crazy compared to what we are now living and experiencing around the remote and the hybrid work. Of course, the question for us as leaders or influencers in our companies is the big question mark is, do we come back 2 years ago, or do we leverage all the opportunities that we have seen during the past 2 years? I have seen so many things actually personally as a business leader that I was just absolutely not able to do in my past experience. I've seen so many things actually that has improved my productivity and efficiency. I mean, just think about it. I started Box nine months ago. I spent 30 years in this marketplace. The way just we are hiring and attracting new talent in our organization is absolutely incredible compared to anything we've seen in the past. The customer interactions, it has happened to me. I spend my life actually with customers because not only I love it, but it's important for my business. But in a single day, having the opportunity to talk to 5 different customers in 5 different locations is something I've never seen before. I mean, I'm just doing in a day what I used to do in half a week, if not a week. So this is really what it is about, actually. It's how do we leverage this creativity, this ingenuity, and all these new initiatives and productivity that we went through. And there are really three things that we are seeing right now in our customers when we talk to our customers. The number one, and it's not new actually, is everybody's working from anywhere. I had a chance before joining Box 9 months ago to spend 10 years at Google, and to start the Google Cloud business in London 10 years ago. And eventually I had a chance actually to run the Google Workspace, which used to be G Suite or Google Apps actually worldwide. And 10 years ago, I remember we started to have these companies coming to us and telling us, especially those companies with a lot of remote workers, most of our workers are not even connected to our company, not even connected to our headquarters. And it was very common in construction companies or in retail companies. And we started actually by just giving an email to store workers in a retail company so that they can really contribute to the overall ecosystem and be part of the company and strengthen actually the culture of the company. Now it's totally different, of course. It's not only about being connected, it's really about how do we help companies to work actually on a daily basis and really contribute to running the company and of course to run all the workflows. The other thing is everything is digital. Every single thing is digital. This morning I was again on the Eurostar from Paris to London because I relocated to Paris. So I do a lot of this trip. And I was trying to reflect on what I was doing on the Eurostar from my seat. And it was just amazing. I was collaborating with Box and Slack live actually with my team. I was sending an offer actually to customer. I was signing some purchase agreement or some purchase orders through BoxSign. Things that, I mean, it may seem absolutely obvious now, but think about it, actually, it's not even something we were doing like 3 or 4 years ago. Oh yeah, we were reading our emails and doing our emails in the Eurostar 5 years ago, but there is nothing actually comparable to what we are doing right now. The third thing, which is super important, is of course security. And we are getting totally outside of the traditional 4 walls approach. You got the firewalls, your product, your building, your product, your walls, and it's no longer actually enough actually to protect your content, which is really the most important asset in your company. So you need to think about security, you need to think privacy, you need to think about compliance. I'll come back to that in a slide, but I had a very interesting conversation with one of our top customers in the UK. I mean, I think we can quote them. It's the Met Police organization in London. I mean, they are just protecting one of the most important cities in the world. I can tell you, I mean, he was telling me, this executive was telling me, Sébastien, you can just drop everything, but security is really the #1 priority that we have now. So the point here is that you need some intuitive technology, otherwise you die. And it's super important actually to understand that is impacting all the different industries. So I think there is a big diversity of industries here in the room. I mean, I can quote a few examples. Life sciences, for instance, you need to transform your business to bring your products to the market much more faster than anything you've seen in the past. We work with companies like Icon in Ireland, or Astrazeneca, actually. Astrazeneca, of course, is one of these companies that went on the front line during the COVID period. And needless to say that the time they brought this product actually to the market was just faster than anything they've done in the past. They brought a product in a few months where it took 20 years actually to do that before. You have to engage R&D across all the supply chain. You have to collaborate with regulators. You have to share some very sensitive information and digital assets. So if you think about government, I was touching a little bit about Met Police, but in government, again, it's totally being transformed. If you think about all the digital cases that you have to enable through mobile with all the population and the citizens, I mean, I was quoting the Eurostar as an example. Not a single trip I was doing during the past 2 years where regulation had changed actually at the border when it came to personal identification and COVID tests and vaccines and so on and so forth. So not only actually regulation is changing, but also you have to protect some very, very sensitive personal information with permission controls and record retention and e-discovery. Think about construction. Construction, it's an all brand new world here also. We are building buildings very differently compared to what we used to do in the last 10 to 20 years. I mean, we need to ensure all the compliance and the security in buildings. We also need to offer new services actually with the new way of working that just didn't exist. Or you can think about financial services, probably one of, if not with life sciences, the most compelling industry when it comes to how the content is being managed. Actually, financial services is redesigning themselves. They need to think about how they can be more competitive, they can onboard new customers, how also they can enable and train their collaborators and employees. They can run some data room with content sharing to make faster decisions. They can collaborate with regulators. They can also digitalize all the workflow and the paperwork. And if only one last one, which is extremely popular also, is media and entertainment. So if you think about content, of course, media and entertainment not only manage huge volume of content and data, we just actually contributed to, I don't think the movie has been released here in the UK, but it's called Notre Dame brûle, Notre Dame is burning. As you know, actually in French, I was very impacted by this story. Fantastic movie. And we helped, Box actually has contributed to helping this film creator actually to build his content. But again, you have to, a lot to do actually. The workflow in the film industry is such that it requires a lot of the right platform. You have also to manage the media content, the marketing campaigns. So at the end of the day, whichever industry you may be thinking about, content is at the heart of your business. I mean, it's really this data that is flowing across all the employees to run the processes, to collaborate and to make the critical decisions. I mean, to build new products, whether it's manufacturing or to onboard new customers or employees, very much in the HR departments, to manage all the invoices, data, so the contracts, the data record. And it's getting bigger and bigger. It's becoming more and more complex. It's becoming more and more fragmented. It's becoming more and more expensive to manage, to deal with, and it's becoming more and more, I wouldn't say insecure because we have to take care about it, but it's dangerous actually to maintain and to manage. If you think about it, think about the content in your company. It's all over the place, actually. You've got unstructured data and structured data. Structured data is, I mean, I don't know if you think about the Uber driver who is driving you to another point. This is efficiently, this is a structured data. If you think about Netflix who is recommending you a new program based on what you're consuming, this is structured data. If you think about any data that helps you to build new products, this is structured data. Now, if you think about, I don't know, the CAD design that turns into a next car, this is the non-structured data. If you think about the brainstorming in your respective meetings, this is unstructured data. And the other thing which is important actually to understand is there is a proliferation of SaaS application. I mean, I don't know if you have had the opportunity to kind of count the number of SaaS applications you are running in your organization. Our friends from Okta have done some surveys. And they came with average number of SaaS applications being used is 175. So I don't know if it's 100 too many, but it's a lot, and it's definitely way too many. And whether it's file servers, it's productivity tools, it's communication applications, it's line of business application, it's absolutely all over the place. And the problem with this application, they are extremely good at doing what they are being asked to do, but they are not necessarily the best application when it comes to managing the contents. The other problem with this application is they are being used by so many workers who are now remote workers. People are coming back, are getting out of the office, if they even go to the office, with some very sensitive content. And this sensitive content is really at risk, actually, because it's just being transported, vehiculated without the right level of security. And so when you think about it, well, eventually you may think about cyber attacks, you may think about ransomware, and that's also one of the most compelling reasons why companies are calling us, actually. It's to help them to protect and to manage their content. So it's not new. You're going to tell me, come on, I mean, Content Cloud is not something that is new. It's not new. It's not new. It is just the way and the complexity it's being actually that we are seeing that makes Content Cloud a new category. I mean, if you think about 30 years ago, we started with on-prem file servers, which was great because at the end of the day, it was an ability to centralize content. And then we moved to ECM. ECM was a really start of Content Cloud. It was an ability actually not only to centralize the content, but also to give the content in the hands of all the users across the company. The problem with ECM is that it's very much it's very heavy to implement. It's not necessarily very easy to maintain. You've got very famous companies like OpenText, Microsoft SharePoint, of course, and I think SharePoint is also still, well, we are hearing actually from our customers that SharePoint is not easy and quite expensive to implement and to maintain. And then you had the EFSS era, if I may say it like that, so amazing actually tools to improve individual productivity, whether it's OneDrive, Dropbox, or Google Drive, whom was very close to my heart. Actually, I spent 10 years at Google. But I remember when I was at Google, as much as I loved actually Google Drive, when I was talking to companies with more than 1,000 employees, I mean, we were seeing kind of some gaps when it comes to enterprise grade security and ability actually to deal with compliance and regulation. So at the scale of these companies. So the reason why Box is here today, and the reason why Box is quite successful, is not very successful, is that we really believe, and our customers believe, that this is the ultimate platform that is not only for administrators but also for users to manage the entire life cycle of your content within your company. So we are working with a bit of sales slide here, a lot of customers, 100,000 customers, very famous companies across Europe and the world. We are being also awarded by most of the analysts right now as leading this category, which is the cloud content platform. Here is a slide from Forrester, but you will have the same slide from Magic Gartner, Quadrant, or other very famous analysts like IDC. And the reason why is because we are being used as much as very small and medium companies, but also very large companies. So I touched briefly MedPolice. You've got large organizations in the UK, like MedPolice, for instance. I think they're using Box for 55,000 users, managing a huge amount of data. But I think that's what is important. I mean, it's really about use case. I mean, we don't care about storing data in a platform if you don't actually solve business problems. And MedPolice, for instance, is taking all the critical evidence information from their CCTV footage in order actually to reduce crime in London. Astrazeneca is also a company that not only is we're helping to accelerate the go-to-market, to bring products faster in the marketplace, but also to help their sales organizations to access data more efficiently. And BT, and interesting also, and we'll talk about that, BT is also totally changing the way they are enabling their sales organization with marketing assets, sales assets, and also contract management with a direct connectivity and with Salesforce, which is a platform that Box is extremely connected, and we have developed a lot of use cases around that. So again, and let's finish in the next few minutes. Let's get into a little bit the platform. Let's put names. Let's put the names behind the task. So think about one integrated, secure platform to manage actually your content journey, from ingesting the data to protecting, classifying, collaboration. Collaboration is very important actually. It's really an extension of what you're doing with Microsoft Office 365 or Google Workspace. It's the ability actually to collaborate on very highly sensitive information, but also not only internally, but also externally. External collaboration is everything right now, and this is also something I've seen myself in the past 5 years exploding. How you collaborate with your customers, how you interact with your customers and suppliers is critical. Everything around automation, workflow. We recently launched a new product, which is Sign. I mean, Box Sign, if you think about it, why would you keep on paying some licenses to other alternatives? And you can definitely cut the bill very quickly. We have, as friendly as possible, a pricing structure. When we bring innovation, actually you can get this innovation at no additional cost. That was the case of Box Sign, which is now being implemented in a lot of companies, and then publishing the information, analyzing, retaining. So it's really a platform with all these processes, and the idea again, actually, is we are protecting you from malicious data breach and making sure that you stay compliant with all your regulation and rules in your industry. Any kind of information, from very large files, very common to see files greater than 150 gigabytes, to any very sensitive information. So PII information is of course extremely important. And last but not least, which is also equally important, is the connection with other applications. Content is coming from your ecosystem, so it's important to just mention that we have developed 1,500 connectors, APIs, actually to to seamlessly connect with your business application or any kind of application you may be using, and even those where you can develop your custom APIs actually to access to this simple information. So I'm not going too technical here, but this is how it looks like, how the infrastructure is looking like. You do have all your application that I was talking about. You have these 1,500 APIs, and then you've got a few layers from the content service layer that brings you the ability to collaborate, to bring features, processes like e-signatures, but also multiple workflows, search your information, and all this security and compliance layer to secure this infrastructure based on, of course, a highly scalable infrastructure, and we are using the hyperscalers in the cloud infrastructure. More use case, and I'm not going to go too detailed here actually, but it's really across industries, but also across the different departments in an organization. Again, we talk about employee onboarding in HR, or how we are improving efficiency and productivity in our operations. Legal is very popular also at Box with virtual data room. Customer interaction at Astrazeneca, I just mentioned it. Nike is a very big organization that is using extensively Box to share digital libraries, or R&D at Cisco. Again, more and more of these customers are using the technology. If I had to summarize actually the three main reasons why you need a content cloud platform, number one is really to protect your content more than ever. And whether you're a small company where Box is very popular, up to a very large companies, highly sensitive industries, or highly sensitive content within not necessarily highly sensitive industry, you have some very compelling use case. Empowering your people, and here I'm talking a lot about the internal and external collaboration, and of course connection with all your IT ecosystem. There is not a single investment that doesn't come with an ROI, so we do have some ROI. What we're seeing a lot, it's maybe a bit of a candid comment here, is we are seeing a lot of Microsoft Office 365 customer sticking to their E3 license model and complementing actually Office 365 E3 with Box and our security model, which is called Shield actually. So, I really strongly believe, but I'm a little bit biased here, that this is the best possible combination actually to fulfill all these requirements in terms of collaboration and content management. With that, we are just starting to a certain extent actually, while Box is already a very famous company, started 15 years ago. We are bringing a lot of product innovation in the marketplace, hence why, again, it's very important actually if you have the ability to join us in a month's period of time, June 7. It's a full day, but you don't have to be here for the full day. If you have time, you can come in the morning just for the executive sessions. You're more than welcome to discover these next product innovations and how we can help your organizations actually to secure your content and improve efficiency, productivity, and collaboration within your organization. So I think in 28 minutes, this is what I wanted to share today. All right, so I think we're right on time. Thanks very much for your attention. Thank you.